Alright, so this is going to be part 3 of section 1.7, and it's going to have us create Venn diagrams that have 3 circles and then answer questions about those. And these are absolutely the hardest, but it shouldn't be too hard if I do a reasonable job and you just kind of stick with me. So I'm going to number up these regions again because it's deadly important to put the numbers in the diagram in a very specific order. And let me just do the order. First I'm going to do region 5. And that's the lovely number that's going to be given. Then I'm going to do 2, 4, then 6. These will be the easier because I'm just going to have to subtract the number in the middle. And that's going to feel just like the 2-circle Venn diagram. So I did 5, 2, 4, 6. Then I'm going to do 1, 3, 7. And this one I'm going to have to add up 2 numbers and then subtract. Kind of like getting the final number in the outside of the 2-circle Venn diagram. And then I'm going to do region 8, where I add up all the numbers and then subtract. And I think I'm just going to walk through problem 15 with you rather than going through an example, just to save the time a little bit here. It's a monster that take a long time, so I'm going to try to help you be able to create these Venn diagrams. So for problem 15, it goes back to a problem that we did in part 1, part 1, where students were asked what classes, what languages they were studying in some sense. So let me just read through this. So problem 15 in section 1.57, 105 students were asked whether they'd studied French, Japanese, or Spanish, French, Spanish, or Japanese in school, and here are the results. 5 studied all 3 languages, 9 studied both French and Japanese, 11 studied, and you can read what I can read probably better than I can read it. So I'm going to do part A. I'm going to model this Venn diagram for this situation right here. So for 15A, I'm going to make my best stab at making a 3-circle Venn diagram that I'm going to use to answer questions about these 105 adults. If you add up these numbers, they add up to way more than 105 people. So this already clues me into the fact that I'm probably going to need to do subtracting. I need to create a 3-circle Venn diagram because 3 languages were mentioned. And I'm going to get lazy here. I'm going to call my French circle a big F, my Spanish circle an S, and my Japanese circle a J. Now, first region I'm going to put in is region 5. That's going to be a given number. So in region 5, because it's in the overlapping part of all the circles, it's going to be the number that represents the people that have studied all languages. And this should probably say 5 had studied all 3 as opposed to taken all 3. So there are 5 that studied all 3. That's going to go there. Done with that region. Now I'm going to move on to region 2. And for region 2, I'm going to have to subtract the number in the middle. Region 2 represents students that have studied French and Spanish, because that region's part of the French and part of the Spanish circle. So immediately for region 2, I'm going to that number right I'm going to this number right here. There's the Spanish and French, French and Spanish, and I'm going to subtract the number in the middle. So I'm going to go 24 minus 5 is 19. And I'm going to put that 19 in region 2, and that gives me the 24 that have studied Spanish and French. This 19 plus 5, they're in the Spanish and the French circle. There's the 24 that studied both French and Spanish. Done with region 2. Said for region 2 I had to subtract the middle number. Now I'm going to go on to region 4, and I'm going to subtract the middle number. Let me figure out for region 4 what number I need to attack. It's going to be the French and the Japanese number, which is French and Japanese, which is these 9 right here. I'm going to take that number and subtract the number in the middle, and I'm going to get a 4. So I'm going in order. First, I did the number that represented all three languages. Second, I'm doing the 2 languages, and then I'll move on to the 1 language. So I went from 3 languages to 2 languages to 1 language. Next number I need to put in is region 6, and for region 6 I have to subtract the middle number. So for region 6, which is in the Spanish and Japanese circle, I look for that Spanish and Japanese number, which was 11, subtract the number in the middle, which is 5, which gives me 6, and that's going to give me the 11 that studied Spanish and Japanese, broken up into 5 that studied all 3, 6 that only studied Spanish and Japanese but not French, but those 11 are represented right there. So done with the 3 of a kind that went in as given, the 2 languages, which I subtract the numbers in the middle. Now I'm going to move on and do region 1, and for region 1 I have to add up 3 numbers and subtract. Sorry about that. All of these should say add up 3 numbers and subtract, and not 2 numbers and subtract. So let me try to help you understand what I mean by add up 3 numbers and subtract. So I'm doing this region 1 next, which is part of the French circle. I'm going to take this number, which only has French, and I'm going to add up the 3 numbers in the French circle. The 3 numbers in the French circle are 4, 5, and 19. When I add those up, I get 28. That's what I'm going to subtract from this 52. So I'm going to take the 52 that had studied French minus the 28 that studied French and some other languages. And the difference between 52 and 28, the 24, is going to fill out my French circle. Now if I add up all 4 numbers in my French circle, 24 plus 4 is 28, plus 5 is 33, plus 19 is 52. There's the 52 that have studied French. Next thing I'm going to move on to is region 3. I'm going to add up 3 numbers and then subtract. For region 3, because it's in the Spanish circle, I'm going to take the Spanish numbers. I'm going to look at my Spanish circle. The 3 numbers inside my Spanish circle are 19, 5, and 6. And if I add those up, those add up to 30. And then I'm going to subtract 63 minus 30 and get 33. If I add up all 4 of these numbers, 33 plus 19 is 52, 52 plus 5 is 57, 57 plus 6 is 63. There's the 63 that have studied Spanish. Next, I'm going to do region 7. I'm going to add up 3 numbers and then subtract. And when I go to do region 7, because that's a Japanese circle, the 3 numbers I'm going to add up are the 4, 5, and 6 in the Japanese circle. And I'm going to use this Japanese only number. So I'm going to add up those numbers, which add up to 15, and then I'm going to subtract 25 minus 15 and get 10. That's going to be the rest of the Japanese circle. If I add up the 4 numbers that I have shown right now, that will add up to the 25 that had studied Japanese. Lastly, I need to do region 8. That's adding up all the numbers and subtracting. So the numbers I need to add up, I'm just going to do on my calculator real quickly here. I'm going to go 24 plus 19 plus 19 plus 33 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 10. When I add up all the numbers, they add up to 101. What do I have to subtract? I have to subtract the 105 people that were surveyed. So the numbers all need to add up to the total number of people that were surveyed. The numbers that are in there now add up to 101. That leaves me 4 stragglers that didn't take any of the 3 languages. I'm staring at my answer right here to make sure I haven't messed up. So 24, 19, 33, 4, 5, 6, 10, and 4. Perfect there. Now let's go on and ask the questions. So how many studied Spanish but not French? So the numbers that I'm going to count have to be in the Spanish circle to be studying Spanish. So immediately when I'm answering part B, how many studied Spanish? Well, that's all of these people. But of these people, I need to throw out some. I need to throw out the ones that didn't study French. So I'm going to count those people and those people because they studied French. I don't count those. So I'm only counting the Spanish people that didn't study French. That's these 33 that studied Spanish only, and those 6 that studied Spanish and Japanese but didn't study French. So I'm going to add up the 33 and the 6, and my answer to this is going to be 39. For part C, how many studied Japanese but not French? Well, that's going to, again, I'm going to focus, it looks like the same color. For this, I'm going to start looking at the people that studied Japanese. And these are all the people that studied Japanese, but from these people I need to throw out the ones that studied French. So I'm going to not count those and not count those. I'm just going to count these 16 people, the 10 here that studied Japanese, but not French, not Spanish, and the 6 that studied Japanese and Spanish, but not French. So all of the ones in the Japanese circle satisfy studied Japanese. From that, I have to throw out the ones that studied French because I don't want to count those, and I'm just going to add up the 10 and the 6 here and get 16. For part D, how many studied both Spanish and French? So that means they have to be part of the French circle and part of the Spanish circle. And so they need to be in the overlapping part of those circles. Those 19 studied both Spanish and French, and they didn't study Japanese. Those 5 studied both Spanish and French, and they did study Japanese. I'm counting all these 19 and all those 5 because both of those have studied both of those languages, and I'm going to get 24 for an answer to part D. Part E is an OR question, and for OR questions we count up all the numbers in either of the circles. So for how many studied Spanish or French, I'm going to go 24 plus 19 plus 33 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. So this one's going to be 24 plus 19 plus 33 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, adding up the numbers in those circles. No way I want to do that by hand. And I get 91 for that answer. An issue here. And lastly, how many studied both French and Spanish but not Japanese? So both French and Spanish are those 19 and those 5 that studied both languages, but now I want to exclude the ones that studied Japanese. So this, both French and Spanish counted the 19 and the 5. Count the 5 that studied Japanese. But this one's more specific. I want both French and Spanish, which is those 19 and those 5, but I want to throw out the ones that studied Japanese. I'm only going to count these 19. So it's just going to be 19. All right, I don't know that that's enough for you to get all the way through, so let me, before letting you go, let me do problem 16. And maybe you can try to do it with me, even work ahead. So I'm going to try to fill out a Venn diagram, and AAA surveyed 125 potential customers, and the following information was gathered. 18 wanted to go to 3 of these places, 30, and again, you can read this. Some wanted to go to Hawaii, some wanted to go to Vegas, some wanted to go to Disney. I'm going to create a Venn diagram to separate all those 125 people into the destinations that they decided they said they wanted to go to. So So I'm going to make a circle for each of the locations. The locations are Hawaii, Las Vegas, and Disney World, as opposed to Disneyland. How am I going to fill in the Venn diagram? I'm going to start off by putting region 5, which is given. That's the 3 of a kind, and in this problem, there were 18 that wanted to go to all 3 destinations. That's my region 5. It's given, it's done. Now I'm going to move on to do region 2, and to do region 2, I need to subtract the middle number. Region 2 for me is Hawaii and Las Vegas. People that want to go to both, I'm going to take this 34 right here and subtract the middle number, and 34 minus 18 is what's going to go in that region, which is 16. So in region 2, I'm going to put 16. Next, I'm going to do region 4, and I'm going to subtract the middle number. For region 4, that's between Hawaii and Disney World. So I look for Hawaii and Disney World, and I see that right there. And for this one right here, I'm going to subtract the 18. So I'm going to go 23 minus 18. That's going to give me a 5 for that region 4. Thirdly, I'm going to do region 6, and I'm going to subtract the middle number. So for region 6, it's between Las Vegas and Disney World. That's these 26 right there that wanted to go to Vegas and Disney World. I'm going to take the 26 that was given. I'm going to subtract the middle number. 26 minus 18 is 8. That's going to be the number that I fill in for that region. Now I'm going to move to region 1, where I'm going to add up 3 numbers and then subtract. Region 1 is in Hawaii, so I look for the Hawaii number. That's 68. What 3 numbers I'm going to add up? I'm going to add up the 3 numbers in the Hawaii circle, the 5, the 18, and the 16. I think those add up to 39, and then I'm going to subtract the number given minus that 39. Let me just not make mistakes. So 5 plus 18 plus 16, and then 68 minus 39, which is going to go in my region 1, which is 29. Then I'm going to move on to region 3, where I add up 3 numbers and then subtract. Region 3 is a Las Vegas, so I look for a Las Vegas only number, which is this 53. The 3 numbers I'm going to add up are the 16, the 18, and the 8 in the Vegas circle. And I get 42. And I'm going to subtract that 53 minus the 42 to get that number in that region, which gives me an 11. Then I'm going to get region 7, where I add up 3 numbers and then subtract. Region 7 is the Disney World. The 3 numbers in the Disney circle are 5, 18, and 8. So the 3 numbers I'm going to add up are 5, 18, and 8. Those add up to 31. And now I'm going to subtract 47 minus 31 and get 16. Done with region 7. Last thing I need to do is region 8. I add up all the numbers and then subtract. So let me add up all the numbers real quickly. 29 plus 16 plus 11 plus 5 plus 18 plus 8 plus 16. All the numbers add up to 103. All the numbers need to add up to the 125 potential customers. So I'm going to take the difference between the potential customers, the 125 and the 103 that we've classified. That gives me 22 that goes outside the circle somewhere. That's a perfect Venn diagram for number 16. Now I'm going to answer the questions. First question for number 16. How many didn't wish to travel to any? That's the numbers outside the circles, which is the number 22. Part C, how many wish to only travel to Hawaii, which means Hawaii but not the other ones? I think that's just the 29 here. Any of the other numbers that represent Hawaii want to go to more than just Hawaii. So this is Hawaii only would be those 29. How many wish to travel to Disney World and Las Vegas, but not Hawaii? So they want to go to both Disney and Las Vegas. The both Disney and Las Vegas are those right there. Those 18 and those 8 want to go to both Disney and Las Vegas. But I want to throw out the ones of those that want to go to Hawaii, which are those 18. So I'm only counting these 8 right there because they want to go to Las Vegas and they want to go to Disney World. And because they're outside the Hawaii circle, they're not wanting to go to Hawaii. So that's going to be those 8. How many wish to travel to Disney World or Las Vegas? Well, so for the or, I'm going to count all the numbers in the Disney circle and all the numbers in the Las Vegas circle. All the numbers that I just circled classify as the ones that want to go to Disney World or Las Vegas. But before I count, I need to throw out any of those that want to go to Hawaii. So I need to throw out those, and those. So the ones that want to go to Disney or Hawaii, deleting the Disney or Las Vegas, deleting the Hawaiis, are this 11, 8, and 16. So I'm going to add up 11 plus 8 plus 16. I think I get 35 when I do that. So that should be the answer to part E. Part F, how many only want to go to exactly one of these locations? That's all the single stray numbers. The 29, the 11, and the 16 that only go to only Hawaii, or only Las Vegas, or only Disney. I think that adds up to 56. All right, that's tough. It's just no easy way around these. Here's your problem 17. I'm going to flash the answer to 17. Then I think I'll walk through problem 19 with you and skip my problem 18. 19 is one that I often put on the test, so it's a real good one for me to do. So here's the answer to 17, so you might want to copy that down so you can check yourself without having to search for it or rewind for it. All right, so 19. It would be nice if you could do 19 without me doing it, but if not, then do it with me. If you think you can do it, then try to do it, and then just fast forward to where I show the answers. Again, this is probably the most important 3 Venn diagram word problem, specifically because it's one that I often ask on the test with just different numbers. So we're going to try to create a Venn diagram for this information for part A of number 19. We have 75 people that were surveyed into which products they like. Sam surveyed 75 people. Some liked product A, some liked product B, some liked product C, and one at a time, let me try to fill in this Venn diagram. First, I'm going to fill in region 5. That's a number that's given. That's the people that liked all 3, A, B, and C, and that's those 9 right there. Next, I'm going to do region 2 by subtracting the middle number. Region 2 is part of the A and the B circle. So I'm going to look for the numbers that have the A and the B and subtract the number that's in the middle. I'm going to go 24 minus 9 and get 15 in for region 2. Then I'm going to do region 4, which is part of the A and the C, and I'm going to subtract the middle number. So I move on. There's going to be the C and the A. I'm going to take the 20, subtract the 9 that's in the middle. That's going to give me 11 in between the A and the C circle. Next, I'm going to do region 6, which is between the B and the C circle. I'm going to subtract the middle number. For the B and the C circle, I'm going to take that B and C number of 18, subtract the 9, and get the 9. Then I'm going to do region 1. I'm going to add up 3 numbers and then subtract. For region 1, the 3 numbers I'm going to add up are 11, 9, and 15. Those add up to 35. I wrote them next to the A because these are the people that liked A. And I'm going to take that number and subtract it from the 38 of people that liked product A and get a 3 for that region. Then I'm going to move on to region 3, where I add up 3 numbers and then subtract. Since it's a part of B, I'm going to add up these numbers, 15, 9, and 9, and put it next to the B here. So 15, 9, and 9. Those add up to 33. I'm going to subtract this 36 minus this 33 and get a 3. Then I'm going to do region 7, where I add up 3 numbers and then subtract. That number there is going to reference to that C number. The numbers I'm going to add up are 11, 9, and 9, the numbers in the C circle. So I'm going to go 11 plus 9 plus 9, that adds up to 29, and then I'm going to subtract 39 minus 29 and get a 10. Lastly, I'll do region 8. I'm going to add up all the numbers and then subtract. And what I'm going to subtract is the 75 people that were surveyed. So let me quickly add up all the numbers. 3 plus 15 plus 3 plus 11 plus 9 plus 9 plus 10. All the numbers add up to 60. I'm going to take the 75 people that were surveyed minus the 60 that are placed in the circles, and that's going to give me for the 15 that's outside the circles. So that should be my Venn diagram for question 19. Now I need to just logic through the answers. So how many people like product A or B? That's adding up all the numbers in the A or the B circle. So 3, 15, 3, 11, 9, and 9. For ORs, you're just adding up any number in any circle with that name. So I went 3, 15, 3, 11, 9, and 9. And I get 50 for the answer to part B. Part C, how many liked both A and B? Well, those are the ones that liked both A and B. Those 15 and 9 liked both A and B. But I need to throw out the ones that like C but not C. So it's just going to be those 15 there, because there are 24 that liked both A and B. Of the 24, 15 of them liked A and B but not C, 9 of them liked all 3. This one's just counting that number right there. It's overlapping the A and the B circle outside the C circle, so that should be 15. And then part D, how many didn't like any of the products? That's just the 15 that sits outside the Venn diagrams. All right, so how about one more for me, one more for you? For you, problem 21. If you can do problem 21 without me doing the next problem, you can be done with the video. Here's your problem 21. There's the Venn diagram and the answers to problem 21. If you can get that done, then don't watch me do problem 20. If you're still feeling a little bit unsure, watch me do problem 20, and I'll give you one more go of this. Heck, let me just do problem 9. Let me do problem 21. Just so, if you can't get it, try to get it. If you can't get it, I'll walk through it with you. So rather than me doing a problem that you don't need to see. So 100 students were asked which fast food restaurant they've been to this year. Some have been to McDonald's, some to Taco Bell, some to Subway. Create a Venn diagram to model the situation. So on my Venn diagram, might be lazier than my answer, but for 21A, I need this Venn diagram. I'm going to make a circle for McDonald's, one for Taco Bell, and another for Subway. That's my M, T, B, and S. Fill in the dead center first. So 5 goes in dead center. That's region 5, and that's the given number. Now I'm going to move to region 2. I'm going to subtract. To do region 2, that's between McDonald's and Taco Bell. I look for the McDonald's and Taco Bell, and I subtract the number in the middle. So the 20 that went to McDonald's and Taco Bell, I subtract the 5 in the middle. I'm going to get 15 for region 2. Then I'm going to move on to region 4, subtract the number in the middle. For region 4, I'm looking for the numbers that have McDonald's and Subway, which is nice right there. For this one, I'm going to take the 25 minus the 5 in the middle, and that's going to give me a 20 between the McDonald's and Subway. Then I'm going to do region 6, which is that region there. I'm going to subtract the number in the middle, and this is the numbers between the Taco Bell and the Subway. That's those 15. I'm going to subtract the number in the middle and get a 10 for that region. Next, I'm going to move on to region 1, where I add up 3 numbers, then subtract. The 3 numbers I'm going to add up are 20, 5, and 15, and it's going to be a number that I subtract from McDonald's only. So I'm going to move down. I'm going to add up these 3 numbers, 20 plus 5 plus 15. Those add up to 40. I'm going to subtract it from the McDonald's number and get a 10. Next, I'm going to do region 3, where I add up 3 numbers and then subtract. That's a Taco Bell number, so I'm going to look for the Taco Bell of these 40. I'm going to add up those 3 numbers of 15, 5, and 10. I think that adds up to 30. And I'm going to subtract 40 minus 30 and get a 10. Then I'm going to do region 7, where I add up 3 numbers, then subtract. That's a Subway one, so I'm going to add up the 3 Subway numbers of 25 and 10. Add those up and get 35. Subtract them from the Subway only one. 45 minus 35 is 10 again. Lastly, I do region 8, where I add up all the numbers and subtract from the total. And let's see if I can do that now. So I'm going to go adding up all the numbers. 10 plus 15 plus 10 plus 20 plus 5 plus 10 plus 10. All the numbers added up to 80. I'm going to subtract from the total of 100 that were surveyed and get 20 that goes outside my circles. So I have the Venn diagram. Let me just double check that compared to this. So I go 10, 15, 10, 25, 10, 10, and then 20. Feels perfect. Now we answer the questions. So how many did not go to any of the all 3? That's the easiest one. That's just the 20 that's sitting out there. Part C, how many have been to McDonald's or Taco Bell? For the ors, I'm adding up all the numbers in either of the circles. So I'm going to go 10 plus 15 plus 10 plus 20 plus 5 plus 10. So 10 plus 15 plus 10 plus 20 plus 5 plus 10 and get 70. And then for part D, how many have been to McDonald's or Taco Bell? That's 70, but delete the ones that have been to Subway. So of the ones that I just counted, I want to not count the ones that haven't been to Subway. So I'm just going to count up the 10, the 15, and the 10 parts of the McDonald's or Taco Bell, deleting the Subways. So I'm going to go 10 plus 15 plus 10. I think that adds up to 35. And then the last one, part E, how many have been to exactly 2 of the 3, meaning 2 but not 3? And the ones that I'm counting here are going to be those 15 that have been to McDonald's and Taco Bell but not Subway. That's 2 but not 3 of them. I'm going to count up these 20 that have been to McDonald's and Subway but not Taco Bell. That's exactly 2 of the 3. And these 10 that have went to Subway and Taco Bell but not all 3 because they hadn't been to McDonald's. And when I add those up, I think you get 45. And I have the answers in front of me, so I know that those are right. So hopefully I did well enough that you can get through these problems, on the test and on the practice test. That problem I did with the A, B, and C and the SAM, that comes up a lot on my tests. So I really would get good at that. But these are all really the same. The only thing that really changes are the names up here. But how you fill in the Venn diagrams is constant from problem to problem to problem. So hopefully you start to make the connections and be able to do them even when I change these names.